Hello there and welcome to another how-to video by LNERFan4472. Today we're going to be doing a how-to video on Cork Underlay. Now let me just explain to you why Cork Underlay to me is so important, because this is really good stuff. Because what it does is, because it's cork, it absorbs noise and it decreases the noise levels emitted by trains in rolling stock travelling over the top of it. So that's one bonus, and just when it couldn't get any better, this raises the track up depending on what size cork underlay you get. This raises the track up and makes it look a lot more realistic, so that when you're ballasting, the ballast and the track looks like it's raised up a little bit and the ballast kind of goes down like that. So it makes it look 10 times more realistic, it's a lot quieter, and it just helps you when you're doing scenery, because then the scenery is kind of set down a little bit. Or in some cases when you do lots of layers of scenery, the scenery can actually end up higher than the track, which is not realistic at all. So this is actually really essential stuff in my opinion. Now I'm going to be going through how you would lay cork underlay and what you need to do it. Okay, so here we are. We're going to go through the necessities required to lay cork underlay. So let's just go through each and every one of these one at a time. At the top here we have a Helix non-slip stainless steel ruler with inches and that can measure in inches and centimetres. It doesn't really matter because all we're going to be doing is drawing lines. So then here we have our pen. Obviously we need that to draw lines, make sure it's a good quality pen. All you need to do is just drag it along to draw the line, nothing really essential there. Some scissors, preferably you want some small scissors, you don't want some massive chunky scissors. These kind of scissors will do absolutely fine. And crafting knife for some situations, extreme caution advised when using this. Do not use this if you are underage, ask your parents, but if you are older than 16 years old, I would say there's no problems with using these. Once again, always cut away from you and use with extreme caution, because these can be absolutely lethal. So yeah, these are all the necessities required to ballast, and as we're doing any LNERFan how-to video, let's go through some of the nice to have features. Okay, so here is the only nice to have feature that I would really consider because what happens is, the cork comes in a roll, and it's going to want to stay a roll for as long as it can. So it's just going to keep rolling up, and it's just going to get on your nerves. So what I recommend doing is getting some weights, something like these. You don't need something quite as heavy as 4.5 kilos, but these are the only ones that I have for myself, because I don't lift anything else lighter. And you just want to put them like that, and you want to leave it there for at least half a day. Then just roll it across like that, and then just shift them across, and then after 12 hours the process repeats again. And just make sure it stays there, make sure it's not going to roll anywhere, as long as it's on a level surface, and it shan't do. And you should get a result like this, where it's nice and flat and it's easy to work with. Obviously the edges are still a bit curved, but that's not an issue at all. Right, let's get cutting. Okay, right, here we are in the living room on a big table. You need a lot of space to do this, especially if you're going to cut a full-size cork sheet. So, first of all, what we're going to do is grab our pen, make sure it works obviously, and our across measurement is going to be 3.6 centimetres. Now, so it doesn't go all wonky, what we're going to do is, we're going to do our first measurement just here, about 3.6, 3.7, mark it at the very end, just like I'm doing. So there we go. There's our first reference point. Now what we want to do is get the length of the ruler, just draw a little dot just there. It doesn't matter where you put it, because that's our bogus measurement for now. Then once again at 3.7, 3.7, 3.6, draw another line just there. So here we have our two reference points. Now this gives us 100% reassurance that the cork is bang on straight. So line up the ruler between those two reference points, make sure the line is just above the ruler. Hold the ruler down and just bring the pen across. Make sure the ruler is nice and stable. Make sure your fingers are nice and spread out. so the ruler doesn't go wonky. And there we go. That's our dead straight line, so let's just double check. That's about 3.6 centimetres away, and this is about 3.6 centimetres away. This is a fail-safe method. Not fail-safe, should I say. This is the perfect method for gathering measurements on, not gathering measurements, to cut out perfect length. So, if we go right to the end, I think this will be slightly out of shot. No, it isn't. So once again, it's 3.6, 3.7. Another line just there. Take our ruler and just draw straight across like that. And then we'll just do it to the halfway line, because I think just after that it goes out of shot. So if we go over here, once again, go the length of the ruler. Can't go very far because this glass jug is weighing it down. Okay, so there we go. There's 3.6, 3.7 once again. Take our ruler, make sure it's just above it, or just below it, should I say, make sure it's just below the line, and bring our pen across as such. Okay, so there we go. There's our first one done. Now, you don't want to cut these out one at a time. So, what I'd recommend you actually do is, do what I do just now. So, this is now our line. So we go to 3.6, 3.6, just like that. Go across, little dot just there. Make sure the ruler is nice and straight and square. So that's about 3.5, so I'm just going to move that up ever so slightly. There we go. So just like that. Take the ruler, just below it. Hold the ruler securely. Perfect. Now let's just do it one more time. So over here, that's as far as I can go. What I'm doing here, you want to apply to the whole of the sheet. Remember, this is only for straight track. So find the bottom of the line. Just below it again, get it lined up. There we go, it's lined up. Spread your fingers out so it's nice and secure in place. And there we go. You want to apply this to the whole of the sheet. So another one there, another one there, another one there, another one there, and so on. And this will continue on indefinitely until you reach the end. And this will give you an almost infinite supply of cork for when you're laying straight track. And it will save you having to postpone track laying because you need to go cut more cork. Do it all now. It's a very tedious task, but if you do it all now, it'll be all set for later. So now let's move on to the next step, and that is cutting out with scissors. Okay, so here we are. We have two lines drawn all the way down the cork, the whole length. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these out very carefully with our scissors. I don't think the crafting knife would be very necessary, but that should only arise when you get some burnt bits of cork that have kind of stuck together, and scissors sometimes actually struggle to get through it. It's unbelievable. It really is. Mind you, these scissors are quite old. So what I'm going to do is, you're best off approaching this from behind. So we're going to dive in like that, and we're going to cut across the line. So here we go. Don't do it in very tiny strokes like that. Make sure you get the scissors nice and wide open. And just make sure this has to be a very accurate process, shall we say the least. Make sure you know where you're going. Make sure you're keeping an eye on where you're going. You should end up with a very nice piece, not piece, well pieces of cork underlay. So now I'm going to start approaching it from the side, but still going from behind. What some people tend to do is they just burn money doing this. They buy cork and they just cut it out like in mediocre sized pieces, like almost half the size of this entire cork sheet, and they just slap it on the track and lay the track on top of it. Well, yeah, that may save you time and effort. It's a terrible approach for gaining realism. There we go. So here's our one strip. That's one strip. We can probably get about best part of 20 strips out of these. So what you want to do is repeat the process that I showed you with the ruler and go all the way up here, draw all those lines and get it all cut out, and you should end up with lots of very nice lovely strips of cork underlay. Okay, so here we are at the layout, ready to lay our track, but we're not quite ready to lay it just yet because I want to go through a couple of things that you will need for laying flexible track. If you want to avoid flexible track, just go with set track, but I would recommend that you use flexible track a lot more, simply because it's got that literal flexibility of being able to put it wherever you want, and it's just easier to work with in my opinion. Okay, let's crack on and let's show you what we need. Obviously we're going to need our flexible track. This is Code 100 Pico Streamline flexible track. We obviously need the cork that we've cut out, and you want a TrackSetta as well. This can be found in most model railway shops, and you want some nails of your choice as well. Now obviously you will need a hammer, but I'm not going to be nailing anything down at this point because obviously I haven't decided where I'm going to put the track just yet. So this is going to be kind of just like a demonstration if you like. Okay, let's crack on and lay some track. Okay, so let's make a start. So first we want to just say this is where we're going to lay our track. This is where we want to lay our track. This is where we definitely know it's going to go. So let's grab a piece of cork underlay. Let's make sure that is where we want it. Make sure you use your eyes just to make sure that is exactly where you want it. So then, before we lift our flexible track on, you want to take your TrackSetta, hold it at one end, and just bring it through, and that will straighten it out perfectly. Then take it by the ends of the rails and just lift it on as such. Okay, that looks quite straight. Just have a look down to see if it's straight. Yep, that's absolutely dead straight. So just to double check, because you don't want to be coming back later on. And there we go. Now obviously I'm not going to go any further because this is not where I want to put any track at the moment. But at this point you would take a few nails and you would just hammer those through the sleepers. So yes, that is cork underlay, guys, and that's how to lay it for straight track. Okay, so that is the first part of my how-to on cork underlay, and that covered straight track. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to cut out cork for point work and how to integrate the cork to work with point motors underneath, just so we can make a little hole underneath. But that is for the next video, so I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Stay tuned for more top-notch how-to videos on LNAR Fan 4472's channel. Have a good day and thank you for watching.